everybody here at the Community Miracle Center. I also want to say it's June, and also in San Francisco it's Pride weekend, so happy Pride, everybody. And although we have a smaller gathering today, I just want to let you know that around the block here, a couple miles away, there's somewhere between 1 and 2 million people who
Yes, there is, honey.
are celebrating Pride. So, you know, we're all connected, and we're all, connected to love, and that's what's really important. So that's what I want to talk about. Now, my talk for today. Oh my gosh. So, how did I come up with this title, When Love is Not Enough? Isn't this kind of blasphemous for a teacher of A Course in Miracles to be saying that love is not enough?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. It is. Okay. Well, it may appear to be blasphemous, but of course, the Holy Spirit always has some meaning for why, they give me and others the titles of their talks. And so what happened for me is that I was really having a challenging time earlier in the week. I was having a lot of negative thoughts and a lot of critical thoughts, a lot of anxiety. I was having trouble sleeping. And so it was interfering with my ability. Usually I have a lot of ideas for talks, and it was kind of interfering with that ability. So the only thing I got was, well, when love is not enough. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay. So I sent it to Reverend Kelly, and I just told Reverend Kelly and Reverend Tony, hey, this is all I got right now, and I Spirit will reveal, but I'm just going on faith with this one. And they were both great to me. They both said, we're sorry you're having a hard time. If you want to talk, let us know. And so it was really cool. But what is this then? Why did I title my talk When Love is Not Enough? And basically, it's because I realized that there have been things going on in my external perceptual world that have been really bothering me. And essentially what it comes down to is that I'm talking about, you may have gotten this from the reading, I'm talking about my special love. The things that I've manifested in this world, which I replace for God's love, and which really at their basis, if I leave them in the ego, are really special love. Mm-hmm. Here's what, here I just want to reread what Reverend Tony read a little bit of today's reading. The special love relationship is an attempt to limit the destructive effects of hate by finding a haven in the storm of guilt. So, all of us, have this experience. I think my experience is, more often than not, even as a course student, I'm in my ego than I am in like the state of perfect bliss and peace. So we're always kind of doing this. And so the part of the special love relationship is to try to find things that we think bring us happiness. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is my experience of what's happening now in the political realm of this country. And it's something that's very close to my heart. And I'll tell you why. Before, some of you know, I am, and maybe ACM Gather folks don't know, but I'm a public school teacher. And I'm very dedicated to my profession. I teach special needs students who are even more, students who have a great need for support and love and all those things, and for education on all levels. And right now in the Congress that is controlled by the Republicans in the House of Representatives is essentially a bill that would eliminate special education and eviscerate public education, which would mean it would basically go away, and essentially the states would be left to provide the education on themselves. Now, some of you may know that in education, states provide most of the funding, but without federal funding, it would be essentially, there would just be much less resources, class sizes would be larger, special needs students would be probably not even be able to access any kind of education, things like that. So, on a real selfish personal level, like my job is on the line right now, and I always thought, well, geez, one thing about teaching, you go into teaching, you get tenure, you're going to be secure. Oh, well, that's not happening. But the thing that really even bugs me more than that is this healthcare law that has been passed in the House of Representatives and has been passed in the the Senate has now revealed their bill. It's controlled by the Republican Senate as well. And essentially what it would do is cut $800 billion from Medicaid, which means Medicaid is the health care program of last resort for the elderly. Many, if you don't know this, 1.4 million fellow beings in our country live in nursing homes, mostly paid for by Medicaid. Additionally, millions, up to 75 million people receive some kind of support in this country from Medicaid. And cutting $800 billion over the next 10 years would essentially mean that the working poor and the very poor would get no health care and many other services in this country. So, and this has really started to bother me, and really upset me, and I'm very critical of the current, I find myself very critical of corporations and of the president and of the Republicans, because they have these different ideas that I do, and I also find it to be unloving, quite frankly. I find it to be unloving. Now, where does the course come in to all of this kind of this approach? It appears to be that my national government is undermining the things which the free market cannot provide, and undermining individuals, undermining people. And so I'm reminded, though, by the Course in Miracles, that if I'm upset by anything, then I have a special relationship to that thing. And I have to look at that. And so what it reminds me of is, what is it? Just like the reading says, where's the guilt? Part of what's going on is I want the guilt to be with the Republican Congress. I want the guilt to be with the corporations. I am, in part, kind of being a victim. In that if I'm buying into that perception, I'm kind of being a victim. Because I'm saying, God, look what they're doing to me. Look what they're doing to my ideas, what I think is right. So I'm buying into that. So that's kind of the first thing. Now, what's interesting is this. I want to, at the same time, this doesn't mean that we sacrifice our principles, or that we deny the reality of what is happening in our political establishment. In the Course in Miracles, there's a quote, and the quote says this: "The body is merely part of your experience in the physical world. Its abilities can be, and frequently are, over-evaluated. However, it is almost impossible to deny its existence in this world. Those who do so are engaging in a particularly unworthy form of denial. The term unworthy here implies that it is not necessary to protect the mind by denying the unmindful." And so what does this mean? Well, this means that as a political citizen, it means that I don't stick my head in the sand. It may be that the Republicans or the corporations are doing things which I find to be harmful to people. The thing about it is, if it's causing me to be upset, and I'm attaching my serenity or peace of mind to that, that's what I have to switch off of. It doesn't mean that I can't be a body, and I can't be a political citizen in this time and space. And actually, the Course does call for us in all manners to try to be in right-mindedness. And from my perspective, God's love means that we attempt to create here on earth a culture and a society which values the essential needs of all beings. The essential needs of all beings, not basic needs. That's not enough. That's not enough love. There's more love out there than that. There's more love out there. There is enough love. There is enough love in this world. There's enough love that every human being can have enough food, have enough education, have enough health care. Now, what's so amazing about the ego is that the ego has created this separation, and we bought into it. We have the wealthiest nation in the world in human history at this point in time in our little ego script. But we also have one of the largest income disparities we do have the largest income disparity of any modern industrial country, wealthy country, of all the wealthy countries in the world. We have the greatest disparity. No other country has 50% of the wealth amongst 1% of the people, or something close to that, right? So but what is that? That's sin, right? That is our belief in guilt and sin, belief in separation. And we've manifested that. And so what do we do about that separation and right-mindedness? Okay, what do we do? How do we respond to that? And that's what I'm saying. I gotta love Donald Trump. And I gotta love the Republicans in Congress, and I gotta love Paul Ryan. Oh my God, how do I love that man? Okay? But I gotta love him. He just is doing it's a belief. He has a belief that everybody should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Well, you know what, honey? Come and work with my special needs kids. Okay? We have some people we've manifested in this world who need help, who for their whole lives are going to need a little helping hand. They're going to need that support. And that's real love. Equality is not that everybody gets treated the same. True equality is that everyone gets what they need. Essential needs. We all need love. We all need support. We all need education. We all need health care. We all need basic healthy nutrition, not crappy food put out by factory food industries. Okay? We all need these things. They nurture us. And it's just not some new age special thing that, whatever they manifest and that's what they deserve. That's spiritual BS as far as I'm concerned. Everybody, if one person has it, we all can manifest it for us all. And what's funny about it is that some of these folks realize it. Warren Buffett is a billionaire. He's constantly going out and saying, folks, you should be taxing me more. He's telling us. He's telling us you should be taxing us more. He's giving all his money away to philanthropic organizations because he realizes just giving people money is not even healthy for them. Most people that inherit wealth generally blow it up. They blow it. Think about your own life. Okay, I don't know if you've ever had this experience where money has come to you. You haven't really earned it. I have this problem, so I've had experiences of this, and I don't manage it as well as money that I earn. I'm just saying, So anyway, even these billionaires are victims, deep down. The victimizers in our society, deep down, feel that they're victimized. They live in terror. If you should go on some of the websites, the stock websites, they live in terror that the financial world is going to fall apart, So they have their guilt, they have their fear, and they believe, because they believe in separation and guilt, right? They believe that we are going to come and take it, or somebody else, is going to come and take it, or something's going to have it. So they're constantly, they have a need to protect that from us. So anyway, hey folks, it doesn't matter what income, area you come from, socioeconomic, blah, blah, none of that stuff, in a sense, matters. We're all expressions of God's love. We're all one. We're all Christ. But we still have this appearance of where we are in the world. And Jesus is telling us in A Course in Miracles not to deny that, not to deny it. And we do have, as an extension of God's love, the opportunity to take whatever resources we have and distribute them according to what we all need, based on that need. It's, I believe, right-mindedness. And it's that kind of love that we don't have enough of, providing for the essential needs of our other beings. Now, I had another example of this week of love is not enough. I had another one of my illusions, and that is that I play gay softball, and I played for 22 years. And actually, Reverend Vincent, who is a very important member of our organization here at Community Center, he's the commissioner of the softball league, and I'm the coach of the current team I'm on, player coach, and Reverend Vincent is the manager. And this is the first year that I've coached a highly competitive B team. And let me tell you, we were not highly competitive at the end of the year. Our record was, I believe, 4-11, which means we only won 4 out of 15 times. So we're kind of like the San Francisco Giants right now. All right. So now, so I have to tell you, I talked to you at the beginning of the talk, I've had a lot of issues this week around anxiety, we have a tournament next week in Long Beach, and we are going to the World Series in September, and I've had this incredible anxiety about players coming to even show up at the tournament. By the end of the year, because of injuries and because of commitments, and sometimes just because players flaked, we just had enough players to play. The last 2 weeks, I think we had 10 players for both weeks. And I found it really difficult. And some of the games, one of the games we got beat 23-1. We scored in the last inning. And boy, I'll tell you, my ego just jumped right in there. My ego was like, you're the reason to, it's your problem, it's your performance issues, you're the reason players didn't show up. I didn't play well myself, I had to play myself, and I didn't play well, I didn't hit well. I was just beside myself, about this whole thing. Well, so what does that mean? Well, that means like I have a special relationship with the gay softball league, and I do have this, this core. Today's reading talks about this special relationship, that it's really love covered by hate, and I realized that for me, just like the Community Miracle Center is, the gay softball is like my family. It's an extension of my family. And so I put a lot of projections on it. I expect that I'm going to be loved and accepted for being gay. I expect that everyone's going to like me. I expect that that I'm going to get all this kind of support and things out of it. And I do get some of that. But you also, as coach and player, sometimes get criticized. You sometimes, and not criticize as much as like people say, hey, you should have done this, you should have done that. In fact, Reverend Vincent is a more experienced coach than I am. And a couple times during the season, he was like, Peter, you should be running this person at this time, substituting and doing, making managerial changes and stuff like that. I was like, hey, what are you doing to me? And we had this funny moment at one point. I said, would you stop yelling at me? Reverend Vincent and I, to say the least, we have history. So we talk to each other in a very familial way. But all these things happen, and that's what the miracle is, though, folks. That's the miracle. If you're willing to say, okay, Jesus, at this point, I'm in need of healing. Show me what's going on, and then that's what happens. To me, the miracle is, Spirit or whatever your symbol is. For me, it's Jesus. Takes you above the battlefield and says, look at this. What's going on here, Peter? Well, what are you doing now? You're playing gay softball, okay? You're playing a game. This game was meant for fun. Okay? It was meant to enjoy. And here you're taking everything out of proportion, right? You're expecting it to meet all these needs. You're expecting to get all these people's approval. Like, get over yourself. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Remember, who's writing the script? The Course in Miracles tells us this. I'm writing the script. I put every player on that team. I put every outcome in the script. I wrote the story that my first year of coaching, we would go 4-11, that I'd have some difficult players on my team, some wonderful, wonderful things, but also some difficult players, that I would have to be the authority figure, receive some criticism, confront some people about, things that they were doing that were not helpful to the team. All those things I manifested. So don't take it so seriously, right? if it's really love, then the purpose of everything that I'm doing in the world, everything, and there's no order of difficulties and miracles, that means there's no importance. Whether it's softball or crossing the street with my fellows out here on Polk Street, right? Everything, softball, Community Miracle Center, my job, all those things. What's their real purpose? Their purpose is for healing. Their purpose is forgiveness. Whatever comes in my field of perception is to be healed. That is of fear, anxiety, stress, judgment, right? So here I am stressing, oh my God, so-and-so's not going to come to the World Series in Portland in September, or are we going to have enough players? That's not my job, right? That's spirit. You know, are they going to show up? No, they're going to show up. They're invited. Come on, guys, let's go. Okay, I can give you the information. Here we go. And inevitably, you know, they show up, we play, we win or lose, we enjoy ourselves, and we go on to the next thing. So, what I'd like to end my talk with today is that when you feel like love is not enough, ask for the miracle. Ask for the intervention. And just know, and just be open. Like for myself, the miracle came in the form of Vincent, the miracle came in the form of Reverend Tony, there's text I got from Reverend Kelly, people that talked to me about what I was going through. It doesn't just have to be on the spiritual level. Be ready for the love, you know, with flesh on it, with people in your life. And that's my talk for today.